Mario Kart World is almost here, and I think we still have some questions about it, because despite how much we've seen in this game, they haven't shown everything, and it made me wonder, are we going to find out any more about this game before then? Because there are still some answers I need. And not just me, but also Don and Nick, and not just us three, but also all of you as well, because you guys sent in a bunch of questions, and we're going to ask them and try to answer whichever ones we can, if at all, or just give our thoughts on what those answers could possibly be. So it should be a lot of fun, and let's go ahead and start off with you, Don. What is your first question you have about Mario Kart World?
Yeah, will there be any sort of tournament feature similar to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
Right? Like, that's a big question, because that was in Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe from launch, I believe, right? That made a big deal about it.
Even in 7 to some extent with the community rooms.
Right! And yet, we've heard zero about it. Nothing about it, which is making me think, Don, it's one of those things where it's probably not here at launch, at least.
Yeah.
I do, for as many issues that I have with the tournament feature in Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe, I do hope it comes back in some form and that they improve it. But not having it at all, that kind of sucks. As far as we know, we don't know. We don't know for sure yet, so hopefully it's there. Nick, Don had to step away for a second, but I have one pressing question I've needed an answer to ever since we saw the free roaming mode. And that is, what happens if you run over Toad? Does he go screaming into the distance? Like, does he just bounce off of you? Do you bounce off of him? What on earth happens when you run into these NPCs that are scattered around the world?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, especially since this game has like a dedicated jump button, and Mario's known for jumping on enemies. I don't know about Toad so much. Like, if he jumps on Toads, maybe like Mario Sunshine will just bounce off of them. But yeah, like, what's gonna happen when you like drive your car into them?
Do they react in any way, or do they just shrug it off?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because like the Nintendo Today, when they did the P-switch on Moo Moo Meadow, it was like the character did run into one of the cows, and did they just like pop up or something? So it'll be interesting to see if there's different interactions with, like, I guess, good characters like Toad versus like enemies like Goomba or Parabitty Bud or something like that.
I really do hope the Toads react in some way, and at the least, I need to hear them screaming as I'm running them into walls or wherever else it may be. So
Toad has an iconic scream, so like if I could just knock him around, I would love that.
Good.
Wait, I have a question. All this Mario Kart talk is making me want to play older Mario Kart games like Double Dash. Where can I get those?
Well, I'm so glad you just randomly asked that, Nick, because I've got just the app for you called Encore. This is Encore, an awesome new way to discover and buy video games. It's kind of like TikTok, but for video game auctions, and it's one of the best places to find hidden video game gems or collectibles. And speaking of hidden gems, you can get up to $200 in credit to using the app right now by using my link in the description to download Encore and signing up. So how about we go on a quick shopping adventure as I highlight some of my favorite things I've come across, like some awesome retro games, adorable plushes, and oh my god, are those Luigi socks? I might just have to get those. Now when you find something you want, all you have to do is swipe to bid. You can even set a maximum bid if you want the app to go ahead and bid on your behalf too. You can also save auctions you want to keep an eye on to get notified when there are just 5 minutes left. And most importantly, Encore takes your trust and security seriously, by not only making sure every seller is who they say they are with ID verification, but also through the Encore guarantee, which protects you in the event an item that you receive doesn't match the description. On top of it all, there are a ton of free giveaways you can enter, with Encore even paying for the shipping in the event that you win, which means you don't end up paying anything at all. And speaking of free things, don't forget to use my link in the description below to download Encore on the iOS or Android App Store and claim up to $200 in credit to start winning deals on video games today. So thanks to Encore for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to our Mario Kart World questions. Now Nick, I've had another question for a while now that may have just been recently answered thanks to the interview Nintendo posted on their website with the development team. Because my question was, we've heard so much music in the game, can you select it? Like, do you have like a radio in your car or something? And unfortunately, it sounds like, even though they were calling it a jukebox internally, it sounds like the music is all automatically selected for you and that you really have no control over it as far as we can tell. So I don't know if this is so much a question at this point, more, but more a hope that they add that functionality in the feature, or that there's a hidden feature in the game to select the music that we just don't know about. So I guess that's my question. Do you think there's a chance there's a hidden feature in the game where we can select the music rather than having it all being automatically played from one of the over 200 tracks we now know is in the free roam mode alone?
I think there's a slight chance of this actually being like a feature in the game, because if you look back at past Mario games, especially Mario Odyssey, I play that game all the time. So one of my favorite things to do is once you beat the game, you have that like jukebox selection. Like you go up to Toad, he has the headphones on, and you can just pick, you can pick any songs from previous levels. So like I'll pick a song like maybe like from the Wooden Kingdom, or maybe it's from the city like Metro City, like New Donk City, and I'll just play it in any stage because those are some of my favorite songs of the game. And we did see in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that they did add that jukebox feature later in the game, like a later update. I think maybe with the booster course passes, or even the last booster course pass, I think it was added with. But that's just music you can listen to in the menus. So to have it be able to be playable, like when you're just in free roam, which seems like a logical like solution, right? Because like if you look at these other open world games, like something like GTA, you have all these music selections and you can just drive around and play whatever you want to play. So I hope this is a feature. If it's not there on launch, I hope it's there later that they add it.
How does the online work in general? We know almost nothing about it. Like, we know almost nothing about the structure. Like, you know, Grand Prix haven't been a thing in online Mario Kart since DS, I believe. So how does that work here with the whole new Grand Prix thing? Like, are you actually able to properly race in Grand Prix now? Or does it work differently online than what we've seen local? And the knockout tours, I'm almost certain those will work fine online, as we've already seen, you know, with the local modes. But still, like, we don't know anything about, like, you know, how the setup process works, you know, like the matchmaking, or even like how it works when playing with friends. Like, are there open lobbies? Like, I really hope that there's a lobby ID code that people from our community can join in. If there isn't, that's really gonna kind of damage the online experience, at least when it comes to streaming or you know, when it comes to streaming especially, but I'm sure there's other reasons as well. But yeah, we know almost nothing about the online, right? I don't think they'd even utter those words.
I think assuredly we can assume that lobby codes are going to be there. It would be weird if they didn't.
It's Nintendo, so...
Yeah, I mean, they kind of showed the UI for that stuff too, with the fact that you can go to specific tracks on the map or choose a specific route to race. So those options also there in local, so I wouldn't find it weird if the same options are there for friend lobbies. I think the only thing that sort of bothers me is that they haven't really showed it when you do it with randoms.
Mm-hmm. Right, that's my main concern. I should clarify. My concern isn't with his friends. I'm sure everything we've seen in the game will work online with friends as well. My main concern is just how it works, with randoms in general. But that's how I mostly play the game, besides when I'm streaming. So I'm really curious how that's going to work, because I love playing Mario Kart Online, and I really hope that they nail the online component. Do you have any thoughts on that, Nick, or...?
Yeah, like you said, I'm just concerned about playing with strangers, because with Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe, like, it was pretty easy just jumping online and playing with strangers. But yeah, we have no idea what it's going to look like for this. I mean, even playing with friends, I don't think we've even seen what the invite system looks like for getting friends into your lobby, right? Am I wrong?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, like how we know you can join your friends online in like free roam, for instance. But yeah, how does any of that work, right? And again, I truly do hope that they have the open lobby system, so that way we can, you know, more easily allow anyone in if we want. The only other thing, I mentioned it briefly, but the Grand Prix, the reason why I'm wondering about that is because, as I mentioned, Grand Prix haven't really been a thing since Mario Kart DS, and like, to my recollection, I think a reason, I forget if it specifically said it, but it was pretty clear at the time, like a reason why they ditched that system and went to the race after race after race model where anyone can join in between races, is because people just quit a Grand Prix. Like, if you're halfway through, someone loses twice, they just bow out, right? Which is why Knockout Tour makes so much sense, because it takes care of that for you. But with a Grand Prix, you know, with a new Grand Prix system where you're going race to race to race and you race between those segments as well, I just wonder if that will work with randoms, or that might only be a friend thing, and it might use a system more similar to what they already do in 8 Deluxe, which are more like per race thing, and it just goes on ad nauseum. Anyways, Nick, what's your question?
So my question is a little bit different from what you guys already asked. It's, will Mario Kart World have Amiibo functionality, and what about Mii's? Is there going to be any support for either of these two functions? Because so far we haven't seen Mii's, and we haven't seen, obviously there's no Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World Amiibos, but like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had Amiibo functionality, which is a ton of Amiibos, even stuff outside of like the Mario cast, right? Like, we had third-party support Amiibos, right? I think there was like a Sonic one, there was a Pac-Man one, there was like a Mega Man skin for your Mii. So like, are we going to see any of this in Mario Kart World?
Mm,
No.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. If it were there, they would have talked about it. So
yeah, I honestly feel that while there are still amiibos at launch from Street Fighter and from what was it for Zelda, I think they sort of deopertized. They made amiibo less relevant. Sorry. I think they made amiibos less relevant over the last couple of years. I mean, they're still coming out now and again, and I still think they will come out now and again if they're a nice thing to have. But nobody's really buying it for the in-game features of these figures anymore.
yeah, I almost think Mario Kart World's like too ambitious. Like, there's too many characters for like amiibo, right? I mean, I guess you could use your existing line, but we know Nintendo loves to sell new amiibo, and I don't think they really much care about all the amiibos we currently own still. So yeah, I'm kind of with Don that like I think we're just on a slow downward trajectory of these things in general, right? Outside of like specific new instances being used. I'd be happy to be surprised. Well, a little bit. I sold my entire collection, so I'd be a little upset at the same time, too. In any case. Oh, yeah, Nick?
You said, like, there's so many characters in Mario Kart World. And the thing is, like, if you look back at some of the Mii costumes that were introduced in the booster course passes, a lot of those are characters now, right? Like, I think, like, Spiky was one, Goomba was, like, a Mii costume, and now they've just been upgraded to, like, fully playable characters. So, yeah, if we haven't seen it now, I mean... yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
Well, except, yeah, you're right. They have many of them have been promoted. Except, you know, in some cases they won't be able to use costumes either. So what would you even be able to unlock for them with Amiibo, right? So yeah, I'm guessing that they probably won't be supported. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Nick. Along with Mii's too. I think I will say I think Mii's have a slightly better chance than Amiibo being supported. But again, I think we would have seen them by now if they were going to be there. So.
I know that, Nick, your dream is a Moo Moo Meadows amiibo. I get that. But
that'd be amazing.
I don't think that will happen.
Seriously,
that's also my dream. Yeah, we were having the same dream here. All right, we got a question from Ty D, 80s Ruffy guy. Love the name. They're a big fan of the upcoming Ruffy platformer, which I am as well. They say, what did the question mark panels do? The ones based on Super Mario Kart. Are there totals for Peach switches, Peach medallions, and question panels, like showing how many you have left to find? Does your card have its own? Oh, and then there's another question. But first off, I know Don, you're pretty well informed on these collectibles. So what are you?
Yeah.
What do you know about
so
this?
Most of them, like we mentioned also during our direct discussion, they unlock these decals for either your profile on the side of the card, and I'm not sure if they necessarily do anything. I don't think they really do, but they haven't really told us explicitly either.
Right. Is that all three collectibles? Like, do all three do the same thing, basically, from what we know? Or do we just know for sure?
Yeah, they unlock different types of decals, basically.
Different types of decals, got it.
Yeah, but it's what is sort of weird to me is that what is the ultimate goal here with the P-switches and the question marks? Because, yeah, you unlock something for the immediate future, which is apply something to your card or to your bike, but what is the long-term vision here? What do you get if you do all of this?
Oh, I know what it is. Once you unlock every collectible in the game, you get a golden poop decal.
Like that, I can see that happening. Yeah, they're just going to give you like a golden mushroom or something, just to put on your cart. Yeah, like the thing is, like when you think of open world games, you think of like, oh, if I do all these objectives or all these things, or I collect all these things in this specific area, like it opens up or it gives me something cool or unique. But yeah, is it really just going to be that these stickers is that the only thing I'm going to get?
Yeah, I'll be honest.
That was sort of one of my questions that I also had. Is like, what is the lasting appeal of free roam? The main reason seems to be collecting decals.
Yeah, I think the fact that even just called it free roam rather than anything else more fun sounding, I think answers it for us. I think this is an extremely optional mode that you collect, you know, optional decals for your cart. And I mean, that's neat, I guess, but I would have loved if there was more to it. Maybe there is. Maybe Nintendo's pulling a depths on us and hiding something major about it.
I hope. I also hope it's like an alternative way to unlock the different costumes and the characters.
Right.
Like, getting them randomly for a race is nice, but if I can do it on my own terms in my own time, like going to a specific area of the game, that will be a bit nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. To address another question, they asked if there would be totals for these. I don't know if we've seen that. I feel like, yeah, I don't think we've seen that itself yet. I'm sure that there are. I would bet you, like, if you go to the map or something, it's going to tell you, like, you found this many P-switches out of this, or maybe on a per region basis. Again, we don't know for sure. That's my inclination to guess, though. All right, Don, what's your question? Your next question?
So yeah, are there characters we don't know about? Not I'm complaining about the current lineup, but is there even more?
That's a good one. Yeah, we've seen so much of the. We've seen the game already has a huge roster. Is it already?
Yes.
I think it's already the biggest roster in Mario Kart. Is that right? I think. Is it bigger than 8 Deluxe?
So, right. I think it's at 50 characters.
Oh, then it's the biggest one. I'm pretty sure.
For sure.
Is there any more? Like, could there be like a secret character in free roam mode, for instance, or something? You know, like we don't know.
The
Like,
one secret
said-
character is going to go back to your joke, Andre, about the golden poop. It's going to be Golden Mario. That's going to be the last character you get.
If it's Gold Wario,
So, what I noticed with Mario Kart World is that there is a pattern of them using enemies that are actually in the game as drivers, regardless if they can actually hold a steering wheel or not. The one I think is surprisingly missing from that lineup, which I sort of said funny here and there from, well, if this character's in the game, I wouldn't main it. It's like the Moai statues from Super Mario Land.
Yeah!
Like, they're an enemy in the game. Are they also a playable character? Because if they are, guess what? I'm maining everybody.
that would be amazing. Like, yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, they brought them back. We haven't seen them since Mario Land. They're finally back after all these years. But yeah, why can't we play as them in this game where we can play as a freaking Conker? No one's ever wanted to play as a Conker. But give me those Mario Land like statues. I'm there with you, Don. So that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Nick, what's your next question?
So my next question kind of goes back to like the achievements or the checklists or whatever, or the collectibles. So my question is, will the world have recurring events? So like example, like if you guys played Marvel Spider-Man from Insomniac, even after beating the game, I 100%ed it. Like you can still go back in and there will be like recurring events throughout the city. Like maybe someone's getting mugged or maybe there's like a car chase going on. Like will we have events like this throughout the game that we can just jump into and be like, oh, like I gotta go like chase this character, or oh, there's like someone out here that it's gonna be going on for the entirety of the game.
I love that idea. It would make so much sense, right? Yeah. Like, and that seems like it'd be a kind of easy. I mean, almost it actually reminds me of how the missions worked on Mario Kart Wii, where like every week you'd have a new mission, right? So it'd be cool if like you drop into the world every week or every day and there's something new going on, right? But again, I think if that were to be there, they would have mentioned it. So
yeah.
I think that'd be really neat, like especially if it could change the conditions of the tracks. Like, what if like, hey, Bowser's attacking the city here, you know, and now you have all kinds of new hazards there when you race through it. Like that'd be awesome, actually. It'd be like, you know, it would kind of, it's like the idea of the weather system, but like really going even beyond it. So
right. Yeah. I mean, it's for me. It's also like figuring out how dense this map is when it comes to also these missions, because we know the P-switch activate missions, but how much variety is there really? And it's like, they showed us a number, and there's a good difference between them, but I'm not sure in the grand scheme of things how much variety there is for these missions.
Well, yeah, because the ones they've shown so far all look kind of boring, like collecting coins or a time trial-like thing. You're dodging a few like armadillos or whatever, and a handful of others. They're fine. They just don't look like that fun, you know, yet. I'm sure there's some good ones in there, but they don't look like that innovative, right? Like, I want to see something really cool, like, I don't know, like, race across the world in under whatever time, you know, or something. Like, go stop, or have a 1-1 race with, like, Koopa the Quick or something, you know? Dumb stuff like that. Even
since, like, food is such a big thing to this game, like, what if you're over in, like, the ice area? What's the course from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the ice cream?
Sky High Sundae?
Yeah, Sky High Sundae. What if you have to deliver an ice cream from there all the way to the desert
before it melts?
Before it melts, yeah.
That's genius. That is genius. Exactly. That's the kind of thing I want. I'm just imagining like a giant ice cream cone like sitting behind you. It's like slowly melting. That's such a good idea. I love it. All right. Well, kind of related to the world map. Turbo asks, where are the details on battle mode and tracks? Also, what is a planned roadmap? Well, in the full direct, they actually did tell us a little bit about the battle mode. There's only 2 modes they've shown off. I mean, I think that are in the game right now, being Balloon Battle and Coin Runners, I believe.
Yes.
And then they showed off a handful of maps there too, including Big Donut from 64, which you can now fly across as well. They showed a city track, a city-based track, I believe, and any others, Don, you can recall? Or...
I think there's about 7 or 8 of them. There was a good chunk of them. Like there was also like Moo Moo. The Moo Farm and
Dinosaur,
some
others. Jungle, yeah.
I think there was about 7 or 8 of them, which is a good amount, actually.
As many as in 8 Deluxe, yeah.
Yeah, but the fact there's only 2 modes.
I know.
Like in a game that is half focused on Knockout Tour, I am really surprised that Shine Thief isn't here.
It's so good, right? It's such a fun mode, and why isn't it here? So I guess Turbo asks, is there any kind of planned roadmap for the game? And they've not announced anything. Like, they've only talked about the game as it is when you buy it. They've not suggested anything else is coming. My hope, though, Don, is that they do, over time, add those modes. You know, like the other ones from 8 Deluxe, like Shine Thief, or the Cops and Robbers one, or, you know, bring that back in some new form. Like, that's my hope. If they just leave it at these two, like, people are just going to ignore battle mode again, I feel like. There's not enough there to sustain it for that long, I feel like.
I will say there's a new dimension if it's still 24 players by playing battle mode with 24 players. There's a new dimension to that. Like, it will have some value for a while, but it's just going to be for a while.
Yeah. I don't know if it changes that much. I almost think battle mode's gotten worse the more players have added to it. Like, 12 players in Mario Kart Deluxe is almost too many times, but there's just like shells coming from all directions, you know? So I'm a little hesitant how it works with 24. Maybe it will change it up in a good way, but
that's why I sort of miss Shiny Feet, because no matter how many players there are in that mode, it is instant chaos all the way through.
That's true. And that's a great mode. You're absolutely right. That could be amazing 24 people and also infuriating. So
yeah.
All right. I have a question here for myself. Being, are there going to be warp pipes? I wanted to ask this because I actually saw a video today that answered this question. Someone sent it to me. I think it was actually that Tyler, or not Tyler, what was her name? Yeah, Ty D, who showed me a video someone took from the event where in free roam mode, at the least, they came across a warp pipe and it warped them up to a much higher area. I'm like, yes, that's awesome. I wanted to see warp pipes come back, but they haven't really been back since Double Dash. But my main question is, I'll modify the question then, will these also work during races? I don't think we've seen one actually in a race. So that's why I wonder. Like, I've actually noticed other warp pipes around the world. I just don't know if they're accessible or not during a race.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably right.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because if that was the case, I could see it being more similar to kind of like a Sonic Crossworlds racing, how you go through like the rings and it would take you to a different part of the map. I think everything's going to be pretty consistent or contained within that stretch of road. Like, I don't think they're going to really take you too far out, unless you're playing it by yourself, like in single player, where it takes you to like a higher part of the map.
Well, to be fair, in Double Dash, they warped to like 2 feet, usually. Yeah.
So. And that's the thing, in Double Dash, when I found it as a kid, I'm like, this is so cool, and you just pop out like, wait, I went nowhere. I lost time.
It actually slows you down. It's like almost objectively bad routes, but they're hilarious. So, all right, Don, what's your next question for us?
So is the ultimate reward for finishing everything in Grand Prix just a Rainbow Road, or is there a full cup at the end?
That is a great question. Yeah, like I feel like there has to be more. It is, you know what? We have to focus on Rainbow Road for a moment, right? It is not just going to be a track. I don't think it can just be a track. Yeah, it has to be. Because here's the thing too. Like every other, because if it is just a track, that goes against what the entire game is about. Where you can take different routes, you can like intermix things and how they connect to others. Like I feel like there has to be more than it just being a single track. I think it has to be almost like a Rainbow Road region, where maybe there's elements of past tracks in there, elements of new tracks or new Rainbow Road like designs, and I feel like there's got to be more to it than they're letting on so far.
What if the first track was a different version of DK Spaceport?
Go on.
Like if for the new Grand Prix that you unlock at the end, what if the first track is an alternate version of DK Spaceport where you don't go into space?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I like that idea.
Like, they didn't build that entire rocket ship for no reason, right? Like, that better go somewhere. So I'm there with you. Like, I mean, it's interesting because right now we do know that Rainbow Road has its own map icon. It's just below Peach's Castle in the water, or Peach's Stadium, or wherever it is here. Yeah. And, but yeah, could there be, like, another means of accessing it? Like, maybe in Grand Prix, that rocket ship, maybe that's how you get to Rainbow Road or something,
What if the case for Rainbow Road is that when they showed us when we were making our own like Grand Prix, our own tracks, so like, oh, and you can even create tracks or connect to other places that aren't in Grand Prix. What if the gimmick to Rainbow Road is that it can connect to every track in the game? Like it moves, right? Like you pick it, and then it's like, oh, if you wanted to go connect to like the Bowser region, it'll move all the way up there. Or if you wanted to connect to like the Ice region, it'll go all the way over there. So it's not just that one specific area.
Here's my secret hope, Nick. Kind of, as I was already saying, I want them to go like full on depth with this. I want a whole world above the map where it's all like Rainbow Road. There'd be other stretches of things too, like maybe planets you can drive around, little planetoid things like Mario Galaxy. But could you imagine if there were like a whole second map up there? And that's why they're hiding it so much, you know. Granted, I don't think they really show Rainbow Roads often or ever before the game came out anyway. But
like, yeah, if they do that, like Cloud Top Cruise has to be one of the tracks, right?
That's a good one. Yeah, you're right. That'd
Do you
be
think
interesting.
is it possible that they're just going to connect all the other Rainbow Road tracks up here? Like if it's all the way from Super Nintendo and then include some other stuff like the Cloud Top track that you said, Don? Like is it going to be like that big? Like you were talking about, Andre?
That would be the dream now, would it? But
yeah, I mean, if this does actually happen, it sounds ambitious, and it is. But like, I don't think it would cover like every corner of the map. But like, you would still have these fragments of Rainbow Road that connect, like, or these stretches. You know, I'm thinking this like network that really kind of meets in the middle then for whatever may be there, or maybe like Rainbow Road Prime, I guess. And of course, you know, I guess the advantage of doing this too is they don't have to fill in all that empty space because it's literally space, right? So like, it's, I would think, in concept easier to design than like the whole world below, right? So that's why I feel like it's possible. It's possible. Let's hope. Yeah.
at least I hope it has more style than the Wii U/Switch version. Which I think I like that Rainbow Road a little bit, but also the whole space station theme was not
no, it was lame.
Yeah.
I really hope they really make up for it. We've got 10 years of a lame Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Let's get something better now, Nintendo, and I want that network of Rainbow Roads above. That'd be amazing. All right, Nick, is it your question now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is, I guess I kind of went back to like the roadmap and whatnot, but will we see any type of Splatfest-like events for Mario Kart World? Like from a few months from now, like say it's August or September, is there going to be like, hey, like we're celebrating, I don't know, like we're celebrating, I'm looking at the picture now, we're celebrating like Burger Weekend or something like that, or pick your favorite fast food and you have to pick a team, and then your team gets like a specific decal, like a burger or fries that's on your car to show that you're part of that team for that weekend. Like in Splatfest where you wear like that specific color shirt. Do you think we see anything like that?
That's, I mean, I like the idea, but I don't. Right now, no, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I guess they did the team element already built in, so there's a small possibility, but yeah.
I mean, they never really paid that much attention to actual teams in Mario Kart, though. Like, it's a cool feature to have, especially now with 24 people, like 8 people per team, but or even 8 people per team. But yeah, it's I don't think they ever really focused on that stuff very much.
No.
So do you guys think we'll see any type of events that aren't Splatfest related then, that don't talk about the teams or have people focus on teams?
Yeah, you have to imagine there's some sort of content plan down the road, right? But even now, I don't think they are focusing on the short term, which is launch day.
Right, yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll see. Again, I really hope that they treat this game as like a platform, like an evergreen live title, basically, and that they keep adding stuff to it. But, you know, it's Nintendo, so you never know. We have a question here from M64 Bros, who's wondering, will Metal Mario be in the game? So do you think Metal Mario will, as far as we know, he's not a character yet. Is there any chance he appears in the game in any form?
I don't think so. Unless wait, is there an item that turns you metal in this game?
I was wondering the exact same thing. Has there ever been an item in Mario Kart that's done that? I don't think so, has it? But maybe 7? Did 7 have that? I don't. Yeah, maybe that's where Metal Mario was first introduced. I think actually, it's so weird, but it seems like such an obvious item, right? Like being a metal character, you get heavier, you can bump people around, you're immune to objects, but it hasn't happened yet. But that's the only way I see it happening is if they somehow add like a metal event, or maybe like maybe on the overworld of Peach Switches, maybe one turns in metal or something. And oh, actually, that'd be interesting. What if instead of like in the water segments, if you're metal, you just sink to the ground, right? Sink underwater, and like there's a whole like different track down there, like a shortcut or something.
If that's the case, it has to play the metal music from Mario 64.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Like 30 seconds, and then you have the metal on.
See, now I kind of want them to add power-ups over time, right? But yeah, I think right now, I don't think Metal Mario's in, which I'm fine with. I've been playing as him in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and 8 for years, and I'm cool moving on from him now. I'm free. I'm free of the Metal Mario curse.
Which character are you gonna main?
I'm gonna have to try the cow. I'm definitely gonna try the cow, I think, but maybe Goomba.
I'm going Bowser Jr. Definitely
Jr.
Bowser Jr.
Nice.
Just to spite you, I'm gonna be the Contour.
How dare you? How dare you? All right, moving on. I've got another question for myself. It relates back to the online. Will it use servers? Will this be actual server based? Because we know up to now, Mario Kart and pretty much every Nintendo game ever has been peer-to-peer. And that kind of sucks at times, especially when there's a disconnect or the host has internet issues. It can just be a subpar experience. And now with 24 players, that could be even worse. So I truly am hoping that this game uses servers, but we don't know. The only slight hope I have for it is that F-Zero 99, to my knowledge, very clearly uses servers because it works flawlessly, and we've not seen that from any other Nintendo game, where you exist in the same world. So here's hoping, but what do you think? Is it still peer-to-peer?
I mean, their online services have become progressively better if you look at the backend stuff. So I have a good feeling about this, but also it's not like Nintendo is ever going to tell us that they're doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to discover it ourselves, or someone out there's gonna have to go into the code or figure out something like, oh yeah, it is. It's not peer-to-peer this time. Like they actually have servers. But like you said, Andre, F-Zero 99, which came out what 2 or 3 years ago now, has there been any other first-party titles with online play that have had servers since then? I guess we haven't had a lot of online games since then, right? What has it been like? Mario Party Jamboree.
As far as I know,
I'm trying to think what else.
As far as I'm aware, the only server-based games Nintendo has ever done are all the NSO ones. So Mario 35, Tetris, I assume the Pac-Man game, whatever that was, and then also now
Pac-Man 99.
Pac-Man 99, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think those are it. So here's hoping this is the exception, especially at $80. Come on, you can fund servers with that, Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not like they're all server based, but at least like recently they've been using a better online protocol, even if it's still peer to peer. You can kind of see it with, say, for example, Mario Party, that it just runs a lot better.
Yeah, it does run pretty well overall. All right, I have a question from the audience. Dr. Gamercat is wondering, why is Super Mario Bros. 2 USA so underrepresented in the Mario Kart series? There should be Mario 2 themed tracks and all the bosses should be playable. It's true. Mario Kart 2, Mario 2 has been largely ignored. I think the only key exceptions I can think of, it hailed from the DS and 3DS games. DS had only 3DS. In Shy Guy Bazaar, if you look at some of the like the rugs or tapestry lying around, you can see Mario 2 enemies, I believe, on there, like a snake, I think, and a few other things, if I remember correctly. But I think I don't know, those are even back in this game's version of Shy Guy Bazaar. So yeah, I would love to see more Mario 2 representation. Get the I guess Shy Guys. Shy Guys are a good exception. Shy Guys made the cut, but
we have Birdo at least, right?
And Birdo, you're right, true. That's a good one, yeah.
But no, it'd be great to have that creepy bird thing. I don't know even if it is a bird, it takes you over to the next area. Yeah, it just opens up. Yeah, but yeah, I think they're just trying to avoid, what is it, Doki Doki or whatever is the name of the game?
Panic.
Doki Doki Panic, yeah.
Yeah, I think
they also later made a Super Mario Bros. USA version, which was basically Super Mario Bros. 2. So it is part of the Mario canon these days. It's not like it's been completely forgotten.
I mean, the obvious answer is that it's a dream world. It doesn't exist. That's why the only stage is based on it. So there we go. Although it would be cool if they had little warp doors or something you could go through for a little.
Didn't Ninja also come from Super Mario Bros. 2?
He did. That's right. Yep.
Seems right.
Yeah.
Is he playing? Is he a character in this game?
I don't think Ninja is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't think he is either. I think I would have remembered that.
He got left at the party, I think, right? He's in Jamboree.
Yes.
They didn't invite him.
And he was in Super Rush, as I recall, so...
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. All right, did someone else have something to say to this one, I thought? Or are we moving on?
I'm all good.
Okay, all right, moving on. Don, what do you have next for us, if anything?
I don't really have any other questions
for no worries. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, we went through a lot of them so far, but actually, I'm looking at them. We talked about the radio. Here's one about costumes. So we have seen that even on Nintendo today, when they show off costumes, it's for multiple characters. Like, for example, if there's a chef outfit, they might call it the cooking outfit. It might be for these set of characters. But are all the characters, all 10 of their costumes, are they all going to be uniform to each other? So, is everyone going to have that chef outfit? Is everyone going to have, the artist outfit? That's what I thought, right? It's going to be... Some characters are going to have some similar outfits, right? But for the majority of them, it's going to be pretty different.
So we know from a couple of characters, we know most of the costumes, and I would say not all of them, but for a couple. And what we've noticed is that they don't always correlate to a different character. So if one character has a certain set of costumes, the other character might have a few others. For example, the babies all have, I think, the sailor costume, which I don't think any of the adult characters. Well, only I think Koopa Troopa might have it, but otherwise not much.
Yeah.
What do you think, Andre?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I do have. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, at least do you think they're gonna be correlated to the regions at least? Or do you think they're just gonna be like, oh, like you get this food and it's just like, okay, like I'm getting the space outfit over in like Bowser's Kingdom or whatever, or it's actually gonna be like, oh, I got the space outfit over by like DK Spaceport.
I think there's 2 or 3 that are generic. Like if you choose a character that doesn't have a costume that specific region, you unlock one of the more basic ones, and I think that's how they maybe handle that specifically. But outside of that, if you choose a character that has a costume in that region, and obviously you'll unlock it then in that region.
Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of costumes, we have a related question from Peyo, I believe, who says, will they fix a menu so we don't have to scroll 30 pages to choose a variant of Mario? Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that. We do know there is a sort option, and I believe one of them is like by character, I think. So you can minimize like the annoyance, but it's still, still have all these pages with all these characters. And as far as we know, knowing Nintendo, they're not ever going to address that. Like, look at this. Yeah.
That's your option, Andre. Is it going to be like, oh, I can sort it by Mario, but like there's going to be 10 Marios on one page? Yeah. It's not going to be like a drop down. It's just going to be like, here's page Mario, here's page Luigi.
Honestly, how they should have done is then choose the character, choose the costume, and then like your setup.
Well, like how it works on Mario Kart Deluxe.
Yeah.
Like if you click Yoshi, you can choose a different Yoshi color, right? So
it's crazy that's not the case because they did take away customization for carts, but it's we're still going to be spending a lot of time finding our characters in the menus.
They fix one thing to break another. Typical Nintendo thing, right? Go figure. It's annoying. All right, I've got another question here from Neil Zone, and it's also a question I had as well. But they're wondering is, why hasn't anyone talked about how we can create our own custom courses? On the Mario Kart World Direct, they said we can create our own courses that aren't in Grand Prix or Knockout mode. So this was my question I had basically was, can we make our own routes? Now I went back and I looked at the segment they talked about, and in the Direct, and it's very brief. Like it's like a single line where they mentioned something about being able to choose your own routes. Now, to me, I think that was a little unclear. I kind of assumed they meant you can, choose whichever route you want in the race itself. Like, if you want to go a different way, you can. But their take was that, no, you can actually create your own, like, custom knockout tours, for instance, or Grand Prix. So do you think that is the case? Because we have seen there aren't all that many built-in routes in the game. I think it's like 20, maybe less for Knockout Tour. So Don, do you know any more about this, or do you think we can create our own custom routes?
So what we saw in the menu is that you basically go to a location on map and then either choose the course itself or one of the routes that go from that spot. So I think including all of them would be a lot of menuing, and I don't think the game wants you to wait for that long to choose something. So there might be a situation where you choose one of the options where you're currently at, and then for the majority rules or through roulette wheel like in Mario Kart 8, and from there you go to the next location or to the next spot.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't. I mean, I feel like it would be a pretty like simple interface if they had like a custom option where like you choose a starting track, right? Then it tells you where you can branch off to. Then you choose the next one. Then you choose the next one after that where it branches off to. And we haven't seen that.
The only thing I'm unsure on is how you choose the starting point.
Right.
But it seems from the menuing at least that you can choose a location from the location you're at. So the actual track or any of the routes that go out of that location.
Okay, and then does that? So wait. After you do that, then what happens after you choose it? Does it keep branching out? Like, we don't know. We've only seen that first instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I assume that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. I hope it's more. Yeah. I hope it's more in depth and allows for like as custom as reasonably can be. Because that to me like seems like such an obvious thing for an open world racing game, right? You know what my secret hope would be? This is absurd. It's so stupid. I would love though. You could literally choose like any track in any order. Like you can choose 6 tracks, whatever order you want, and then it uses all the non-main routes to drive there. So if you want to like start on one corner and drive all the way to the other for the next race, you can. Then you double back to like another corner, and you just spend like half an hour on the freeway trying to get to each race.
That would be really funny. Yeah.
That'd be chaotic.
It's like a 3-hour circuit. I want this so bad. That's probably not happening. But yeah, like I'm surprised Nintendo didn't show that off, you know? Because there's so many ways these tracks can interlink seemingly, but we haven't really seen a whole lot of that outside of the preset routes.
You know, it's almost like they should have focused more on that instead of the stuff that we already knew in the direct.
Right. Yes, exactly. So
they're gonna talk about this in Nintendo Today, like 3 weeks after the game came out. I'll be like, wait, why didn't you tell us before?
You know, at that point, I'm shocked that there hasn't been no review trailer yet. Like, it's almost 2.5 weeks away from the game. You haven't released your review trailer for your video game?
Yeah. Maybe next week or maybe launch week. Who knows at this point? But hopefully we get one soon. I would love... But yeah, there are still some things... Obviously, there's a lot of things they can address. And that continues with this next question, or these next set of questions from JLNRK, who asks, are the Mii's even present in the game? We already answered this. As far as we know, they're not. Yeah. Why didn't Nintendo give any attention to turning off the in-between race segments straightaways? Because they add, you can in fact do this, they just didn't mention it. I didn't know this. Did you know that, Dawn? They could turn off the in-between segments and you just go like race to race to race, apparently?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah,
does this mean like in Grand Prix? Like if I want to start at like...
I need some context. What do I mean? Is it Grand Prix?
It would have to be Grand Prix. It wouldn't make sense for anything else. So that's what I assume they mean. They didn't specify. So we have not seen this ourselves. I don't know exactly what they saw. It kind of makes sense to me. Like if you want a more classic Mario Kart experience. Because I mean, it kind of has to be in the game because we do know that you can do multiple routes in some way or multiple laps on tracks, right?
Yes, you can. You can multiply. That's one of the that's one of the options that we saw. Like you can choose specifically to do 3 rounds on a track.
Right, got it. So that it's probably related to that, I would guess, but I don't know myself. I haven't seen it, so we're taking this on faith right now from what Jay Allen has seen apparently.
Yeah, for sure.
Then they also ask another good question: what are these giant vehicles for? And they link pictures to the semi truck and then also the plane as well. So yeah, what do we think? Have we seen these being used in any of the gameplay in the actual like race gameplay?
I think we did see them in the missions. I want to say, yeah, I want to say that we also saw them happen during a race, but I'm not sure what the benefit really is outside of creating chaos.
And you guys didn't get to try these out in person, right? Like they did not have these anywhere at the Switch 2 events.
You could interact with them if you were in the free roam area.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel I could be wrong. I feel like in the trailer footage we've seen though, like it looked like it was taking place during a race when you've seen these being used.
Yeah, because there are other characters on the screen at the same time.
Yeah, my assumption has just been that they're just like temporary power-ups, right? You get in a semi-truck, you can just drive through wherever you want, basically. You know, including like running over. I mean, it's like a big bowl of bill, it seemed like, as if you're steering it yourself.
Yeah, my main issue is that with balancing, like, does that mean that the first place player could go into it?
That's a good one. That's really interesting. Ow, man, I hope, because the fact that the semi-truck, I think it has like, you know, the back opens and closes, right? I assume. Like you drive up the ramp, so I wonder if maybe it only opens at a certain point. That'd be cool for balancing. If like the first people can't get into it, only opens for later people who are passing by. So
yeah, that's what I hope.
Yeah, but yeah, we don't know. Like, and how does a helicopter work? You know, like, can you reach a higher track based off of it, or a higher shortcut, perhaps? So yeah, there are some questions there.
We also saw the boat on the water, which looks really cool, but we don't know what it means, you know?
Yeah. Which is interesting. Like, that was one of the coolest looking things Nintendo didn't even touch on it in their whole direct, you know? So go figure.
Yeah.
I've got a whole bunch more user questions, but Nick, did you have any others before I get... Okay.
I have a quick one right here. Yeah. So have we seen, or will Boo be able to steal your food items? Because this is going to be a pain, right? Like if I get a food item and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited, I want to use it yet because I can use it as a boost and I know it's going to give me a new outfit.
Boost?
Yeah, the boost. But yeah, is Boo going to come up and steal it and give it to someone else? Because that's going to be a pain.
I honestly think you can, yeah.
I think so too. It's probably just an item, which it could be annoying. Oh, I finally got this region one. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'd say if you got one that if you got the food you're looking to collect, just use it. Screw the race. Just focus on using it and get that costume, right? So, yeah. EDU asked a bunch of questions actually. 200cc. Yeah, we've no confirmation of it. My guess would be, like with 8, it won't come until later. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say that it's going to come out later. Maybe in the first Mario Kart specific direct, or maybe in a Nintendo Direct later this year, they'll talk about it. But yeah, I think they just want to focus on 50, 100, 150. And then again, like, we don't even have mirror mode, right?
No.
Which I'm cool with. Mirror mode's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, but that's a good point though, Nick, because it's been in almost every other Mario Kart to date, so it is an interesting one to exclude, you know. So
hopefully that's not the unlock that you
they're
get
bringing
for,
back the
like,
All-Star Cup. They're bringing back the All-Star Cup, like all 32 tracks.
That's what I want.
That,
Well, and actually, that's a good segue. Is it 32, Don, or is it 33? Because EDU says only 33 tracks.
Oh, 33, yeah.
Is it
Because of
33?
Rainbow Road.
Rainbow
yeah,
Road,
obviously.
I guess that's the 33.
Yeah, but is there more than, like, would it be 36? Would it be 35? I'm still wondering about that. You know, we
Yeah.
have had this entire talk earlier, but I'm still wondering, is there
About the
more
Rainbow
to
Road
that
thing?
final Grand? Yeah, is there more to that final Grand Prix?
There has to be. Like, it can't just be a standard track. That'd be kind of lame, right? Like, it has to be more.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
So
Yeah.
maybe they have some other surprises there, but I think there's going to be more to it. I think essentially Rainbow Road will encompass at least more than one track. Like, it won't be just a single track, but maybe I'm wrong.
Sure,
However,
yeah.
let's assume the worst case scenario. Let's assume there are just the 33 tracks, including Rainbow Road. I still think that's not doing it I think that's doing a bit of a disservice to the game, but that's not counting all the in-between routes, right? And there's like,
Oh, for sure, yeah.
and how many of those are there in the game? Like, I don't know how you even, I don't know if you can even discreetly break those down. Like, because they branch off in their own ways, right? I think, maybe.
Particularly around Peach Stadium, there's so many.
Right. So I think even only 33 tracks, I think that's fine. Because there's so many others there. Like,
we're
like the
playing
whole...
this game for a while, and then we're gonna go off to other places and be like, "Oh, did you experience this track over in like the mushroom area at Moo Moo Meadows?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know that was a track there."
Like, when I did the Knockout tour, it was honestly hard to tell what was actually a track or not. You know, like, you know, I honestly couldn't even tell. Like, I'm sure now, you know, playing more and more, I'm sure I'd start to understand the distinction more. But even still, like, it really blended really well, at least in that mode. In Grand Prix, I'm sure it stands out a little bit more because you have those discrete start and stop points, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm not too worried. In fact, if anything, going by that, like this, you know, if you count all those as tracks, even if they're like lesser tracks in a way, like that's a ton. Like that's a ton of tracks, you know, even if it may still fall short, possibly of Mario Kart Deluxe and all the booster course stuff. I still think that's fine. So, but it's all new.
You know what said? The journey is part of the destination.
That's exactly. Good point. Next up, EDU also asks, Diddy and Dixie. Yeah, where are they? Those are some weird omissions, right? At least Diddy.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, especially, I mean, again, unless they're saving this for like the roadmap, and then maybe Mario, or maybe because of Donkey Kong Bonanza, maybe they want to have the first event be tied to Donkey Kong or something. But yeah, it's very odd that those two, especially Diddy, since he was added towards the end with Funky Kong and the Booster Course Pass, it really doesn't make sense that those guys aren't here.
I think they're purposefully omitted because I do think, as you're suggesting, there will be DLC. We'll get like a whole DK type expansion, possibly including like more racetracks. Because that is another odd omission. DK does have a racetrack in the form of DK Spaceport, but that's technically Cranky Kong's track and not the modern DK. We don't have like the jungle like track design, right? There's no like jungle DK track, so that could easily come in its own like region. Like DK Island rolls up, you know. You can even get the whole giant DK head thing, you know, along with the Golden Temple area and whatever else. And that's when you get Diddy and Dixie. So I would legit be shocked if there isn't DLC for this game or expansions.
I hope if they do add Diddy and Dixie, I hope it's more characters from Donkey Kong on top of Funky Kong. I hope we do get like the Kremlins and get like King K. Rool, because it would be great to have him back in this game. I mean, he's never been in this game. It'd just be be great to have him back in general.
Fully agree.
No,
King K. Rool,
we're gonna get Rambi.
I mean, with the crazy cast we have in this game, I could totally see it.
That'd be pretty great.
I look forward to Rambi not being able to hold the wheel very correctly.
Just like this.
At least they can hold it, unlike poor Goomba, who just uses his mind powers, apparently. EDO continues. Custom items. 0% chance. There's no way we're getting custom items here.
Like custom items like what they added to the booster course passes, where you can select which ones are on or off. Is that the question?
Oh, that's what they mean. Okay, that makes way more sense.
It's a little too much chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. I wouldn't be surprised. yeah, have they even said anything about? Did we see any option screen of any item?
I don't think so.
They haven't really talked about online. I mean,
Yeah, right. Still
yeah,
me, of course. So, yeah, I don't know. I could see I could maybe see them doing like a double dash type thing where you have like these different presets of items, like the crazy ones or the tamer set.
So
Maybe,
frenzy, regular, and then a few specifics like only bananas.
I don't think though. I think I agree though. I don't think we're gonna get the full-on custom item, toggle on, toggle off individually until maybe way down the line. So,
like a good chunk of people also don't want to use them because some of them are just going to be very funny and just do only blue shells.
exactly. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. EDU, final question from them was reverse tracks. I will love this because we have not seen this in any Mario Kart except for Mario Kart Tour. And that would be such a great addition for an open world game, right? Isn't that kind of weird? Actually, that's not kind of a standard feature. But that I would think that would almost legitimately double your track count because racing backwards almost feels like a whole new track, especially with the different ways tracks can connect now. So we haven't seen that though, right?
Like,
At all?
I would even go a step further. Just do the remix like they did in Tour. Why not?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and how they handled it in Tour, right? Didn't they just add like jumps to certain sections or maybe like side bridges or whatever? It's like, it's impossible to go back this way, but we figured out a solution to it. Like it doesn't look that pretty, but for the most part, it's still playing on what it seems like a brand new track.
Yeah, good one. So we'll see. Let's see. Next up, I have got so many questions. Nick, do you have any other questions, by the way, before I go into more?
This might be an easy one to answer. Have we seen how fast travel works at all?
I think we did.
No.
Didn't they show it?
Have we?
I thought they mentioned it at the least, but did they not actually activate it in the
I don't think they have.
Okay.
No.
I feel like we might have seen it in Treehouse, but like maybe they showed the map for a second, they hovered over like a location, but I don't think they ever clicked on it. I don't think we've ever seen the character go from one place to another in like the menus or anything like that.
Yeah,
how do you guys think it's gonna work? Do you think it's gonna be pretty straightforward?
It's going to be pretty straightforward if there's there, yeah.
Yeah,
do you
I think so too.
Do you think you'll need to unlock specific places to fast travel to?
No.
Like in open world games, or do you think everything's going to be right out of the gate besides Rainbow Road?
I mean, it sort of depends, right? It sort of depends on how they want to handle it.
I think by its nature, you can't have unlocks, right? I think just because, like, if you're playing with a friend that unlocked a track they don't have access to, and you want to warp over to them, like, they're not going to stop you from doing it, right? So I think...
I guess the solution to that could be you can just click on their head and then travel to wherever they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it actually would be kind of fun if you couldn't do that until you actually race to the region, but with just how Mario Kart works, it wouldn't take that long anyway to unlock everything regardless, right? So
No.
Yeah. It's kind of speaking of, kind of related, Vixian asks a question that's kind of interesting, I think. I don't understand the progression of the world. Yes, I get there is a world, but like, what can you actually do? Are there boss battles, new races? Is it like Mario Kart DS? Truth be told, I'm very confused on what you can do in it. Why am I looking at binoculars? I don't get it. This is interesting, but I do kind of think to an extent, Nintendo's done a kind of poor job of really describing what free roam is, right? Because it seems to me just to be like a super casual thing. You just drive around, you collect occasional collectibles to unlock new decals, as Don is saying, and that's basically it. Oh, and activate P switches for, like, missions, which there could be boss battles. We've not seen any evidence of this. But yeah, is there anything else I'm really... And the binoculars, those just going to be a totally optional thing just to look at your world, right? Like, I don't think there's anything else to them.
Yeah, I don't think the binoculars add much besides like, oh, let's check out this tree over here. There's racers out in this distance. Like, I didn't know about that part. But yeah, I don't think they, like you said, they didn't really do a good job of telling us what else we can do in the free roam. It feels like it's just going to be, like you said, just a casual thing I'll be able to do with friends in game chat. I think that's what they're trying to push with it. It's like, oh, you can talk to your friends and see where your friends are during game chat. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much outside of that. And it acts as your menu too, as like a lobby as you're waiting for your friends to come into. So yeah, go ahead, Don.
It goes into our previous discussion a little bit, but I do hope like you can do the full lobby, 12 people in game chat and 12 people also in the same Mario Kart lobby. That would be hilarious.
That would be amazing, yes.
Yeah.
Pac-Man Race asks, do you think there's going to be a dash food stop on Rainbow Road? I hadn't even considered this. Would there be like a whole special like Rainbow Road costume even? Like, how's this going to work?
Oh, there's got to be some specific type of food for Rainbow Road. I don't know what it's going to be. It's got to be something. Yeah, there's got to be a restaurant up there.
I think so. It's like floating like eatery or something.
Don, what are you thinking?
Maybe cakes based on like the the space candies from Japan, like where they base also the star bits on.
Star
and
bits?
Mario,
Yeah.
yeah.
Having a star bit related thing would be really cute, I think. I like that.
They're based on candy. You can just make a cake around it.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Yeah. I'm down with this. They continue with another question. I'm genuinely concerned about the lack of costumes for both Pauline and Donkey Kong, and this track might be our last chance of getting something new revealed for both of them. Wait, do they have a lack of costumes? I thought maybe this can inform me. I assume that every character that had costumes that we know the minions don't, or most of them don't, but the ones that do, I assume that they all would have the same costume set. Do they not?
I think we're assuming that all the main cast has at least 10 costumes.
Okay.
The question might be referring that we've only seen very few for Donkey Kong and Pauline, which is true. We haven't seen a lot for them, but I believe all the main cast is going to have 10.
Yeah, and they're not all going to have the same overlap either. They're going to be different, like, costumes sets between the different characters, like we mentioned before. I just don't know how much they can really change Donkey Kong design without making it extremely corny.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave him the suspenders for Donkey Kong Bonanza, so they'll just give him different color suspenders or a different color tie.
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right, we got another question here from It's Toady King. Says, will free roam online lobbies be 24 plus players or capped at 24? Will we get a 50 to 100 player game mode? Will 24 player Baby Park become reality or forever be a dream? I think 24. I love that idea. By the way, missed opportunity. A Baby Park with 24 players would be absolute chaos. So they need to bring that back. But do you think there's any chance if free roam allows for more than 24 players? I don't think so.
I think he will just go into free roam, and there will likely be a toggle to put yourself online or not.
Right.
And I think the maximum players that they can register within like one lobby or one space of the world is 24 players.
You think so? Do you agree with that, Nick?
Yeah, I can't see it being like 100 or something. And if that is a game mode added later down the line, maybe it is like a battle mode which adds that many characters. I think they're going to contain you to a specific area of the map, like they already do for battle mode in this game, right? Like I can't see 100 people running around this world. Like your Switch 2 is going to explode. Like I don't think it's going to have a good time.
No, 24 players is it. I think there's no reason for them to go beyond that. And yeah, I mean, I think that'll be enough. I mean, I think that could be a lot of fun. Just I mean, I actually, here's something too. As far as we know, free roam only works with friends, right? There's no like online with randoms in free roam, is there?
We don't know.
Like, yeah, this goes back to the online questions that we just don't know from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which again means probably not. But I would love if there was a random-based online, a randoms-based online option, right? But like when I play, I'm not gonna call my friend. I'll be like, hey, you want to go play online free roam? No, I just want to like hop on the randoms, right? And it kind of sucks if in free roam, like we can't all just hang out. I can't hang out with randoms. Like it'd be so cool to see people just driving over the world doing whatever they want, right?
Yeah,
I mean, who knows? It could be there,
anything.
but
go ahead, Don.
I mean, I don't know. It could be there, but once again, like we said multiple times over, it's almost like they didn't really talk about online very much.
Related, and I think this is a question we already addressed, so maybe we don't need to answer it too much. But Reese asks, how will non-knockout tour races play online, like Grand Prix? Will intermission tracks be a thing, and will the selection of courses be ones that can be and will the selection of courses only be ones that can be driven to from the track picked prior? So yeah, we were kind of addressing this earlier, like, yeah, are you stuck with a region-based Grand Prix type thing where they have to be near each other, or can you choose whatever you want?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of also related, Star asks, okay, so where's the special cup? They continue, Knockout Tour has 8 cups, but Grand Prix only shows 7. The map shows 29 tracks, 2 are repeated, so that makes 31 circuits. If each cup has 4 tracks, this doesn't add up. This is a good question. Every Mario Kart's had at least 8 Grand Prix, so it is odd.
We don't. Here's the thing: we don't know if they repeat because they're basically 2 different versions of Crowd City, so they could just to be 2 different tracks, like how they did with Fuhu Island. Like we don't know that for 100% for sure.
I will say. So, what are you saying then exactly? That
I would still think there are currently 32 tracks, and likely there will be a full cup at the end, hopefully.
Did you guys explore that area at all when you got the hands-on with it, the Crown City?
I
really.
don't think so. No. Yeah.
I was gonna say because maybe the city is so large that it was broken up into 2 individual tracks, like we saw the day and the night one.
Is that the only track we've seen repeated once so far?
I believe so.
I believe so, yeah. But I do believe that they're likely two different routes completely, like similar to how they did with Woo Island.
The more I think about this though, like I feel like there has to be an 8th Grand Prix, right? Like there has to be like the Rainbow Road one, or the one that includes Rainbow Road, right?
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder what else could it include? You know, like could that be the one that includes DK Spaceport as part of it? You know, and you take it up to Rainbow Road or something. So.
Yeah, just an alternate version of DK Spaceport. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that would actually be really smart. So wait, hold on. If my math, okay, hold on. If we know. I already got confused by the math on this. Yeah. How many tracks? Do we know what's the track count for all the Grand Prix so far? There's 7 Grand Prix times 4, so that's 7 for 28. But we know one's repeated, so that brings us down to
27.
27. What's this? I don't know. What's this mean?
And then
I'm confusing myself.
If we're assuming that there's an 8th cop, then that would bring us back to 31, right?
Right, 31. Okay, so we are missing a track for 32. I'm so confused. I'm so confused by this.
We have the repeat of the Crown City, so that's why we're not at 32. It would be 32, but we're subtracting the Crown City one.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Does anyone else have any thoughts on this?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'm totally confused myself. So it's a good question, Star. We have to wait and see. So there will be an 8th Grand Prix. Lock it in, though. I'm sure there will. I'm convinced of it.
Yes.
All right. Especially, I don't know. I guess we haven't seen what all the later Grand Prix are. So technically, Rainbow Road could be one of those too, but I think it's unlikely. I think it'll be part of the 8th Grand Prix. But maybe there's something I'm missing. Alpha asks, Pacific Northwest, I think, or no, PW North New York, whatever. We know Rainbow Road exists. Where is it and how to unlock? We know Rainbow Road exists. Where it is and how to unlock. What I want to know is how we're going to reach it once we pass that massive checkpoint gate in the drawbridge. So that's a good question. Like we've talked fun about DK Spaceport maybe being an entry point, but we do know that it exists in that ocean area below the Peach Stadium or whatever. So what is the actual entrance for it though? Like if you're down there, how are you getting to it? Is it in the ocean? Do you race up to it? Like Nick, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exactly how we saw in the Mario movie, right? When they're over in Donkey Kong Country area and they're like, oh, we got to take Rainbow Road to get back to the Mushroom Kingdom. I think it's going to be like that. I think you're literally going to drive up onto a road and it's going to take you through the clouds and then you'll be in the Rainbow Road track up top. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Yeah. Don, what, you think it's going to be something else?
I'm still sticking with my Spaceport story. It makes too much sense to ignore it.
Even though the icon doesn't match up, though?
Even from the Spaceport, if they have the Rainbow Road from there, like it'll have multiple areas where you can take the Rainbow Road to get from. Like there's going to be multiple entrances and exits.
Yeah. I still think that's too much of a fun idea to completely discard.
I agree. It's odd, especially it's relatively close too. It's not far off from the Rainbow Road area, right? So
yeah.
Is that the highest peak in the game outside of Rainbow Road? Like, do we think Donkey Kong Spaceport is going to be the highest point?
I don't think so. I think that at least that winter area, like we saw them drive off it and it looked really high up. There's also that cliff too. They fell off. So I mean, maybe it's hard to gauge for sure. I mean, I think if you take that rocket ship, then that would definitely be the highest point. But yeah. Kazian asks, will we have boss battles in Mario Kart World during free roam or perhaps a possible story mode? Again, we don't know. I'm guessing no story mode. They would have said that instead of free roam. But if I had to guess, I bet that there will be boss battles there, especially with the boss or the battle mode arenas being part of the actual world itself too. Like I feel like there's got to be a boss battle there, right? At one of them, but we've not seen there's been no evidence of this. So
yeah, and if that's the case, I hope it's in line with Diddy Kong Racing, where you're actually like one-on-one racing the bosses too on top of battles from previous Mario Kart, like Mario Kart DS. Yeah, I hope they're ginormous, and I hope you're racing alongside them, and they just crushed you when you're on the track too. Like the ones at Diddy Kong Racing, like those characters are massive, and you don't want to go anywhere near them because they can destroy you.
Yep, for sure. King Bowser asks, will making a 24 racers insane items and white tracks pay off? I think so. Based on what I've played it so far, I think it's definitely paying off. But they continue, will the battle mode have an enclosed level with green shells that don't expire a la Mario Kart 64? That'd be amazing. That's not happening. Green shells expire. I think they expire based on the amount of bounces. Maybe it's time.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I think it's like maybe 3 bounces or so.
Yeah. But Mario Kart 64
been based on thousands, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. Specifically, was it block I guess Block 4 had it too, but I also remember Double Deck, the lowest floor, like that's where the green shells would congregate, and it was insane. It had them bounce around constantly, but they wouldn't expire except for, I think, if too many green shells entered, then the earliest one would start to be deleted, you know, so. Let's see here. I've got some more. Did you have any more questions, Nick, by the way, or did you finally run out?
No, I have a few more, maybe like one or two more, because most of the viewer questions too have been helping us out, or have gone over my list too. But yeah, so what's the battery life going to look like on this when we're playing in handheld mode? Obviously, like when you guys got to play it in person, it was all on the TV, right? Like I don't think we're really.
No, we play handheld mode too.
Oh, you did? Yeah. But I assume it was connected to a charger, so you couldn't really tell the battery life, right?
Right.
Because they didn't want you to steal the system.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? I mean, Andre, like it won't really matter to you since you mostly play on the TV, but like how much time do you think we'll be able to get out of this in handheld mode only?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I mean, I honestly, I mean, it's impossible to say. I get the impression that Mario Kart World isn't like pushing the Switch to its limit. You know, I don't like that's not my take. I assume we'll get better battery life out of it than we will like Cyberpunk, for instance.
Yeah.
At least if you're playing offline, online could change it maybe. But yeah, I have no idea. I mean, you got me.
Yeah. Same here. I don't know.
Let's see. We had a question here from Michael who asks, what secrets were disabled during the demo version that we will stumble across, especially in free play? I mean, we don't know. We don't know. If we knew, like they did a bad job blocking them off. But honestly, my impression is that the only thing I felt like we didn't have access to, Don, was the most, you know, the menus, like some of the menus at least, and also the, you know, Rainbow Road. Beyond that, I didn't get the impression that they were hiding a whole lot from us, at least in free roam or races.
Did you guys get to play battle mode at least, or no? Was that hidden?
No.
So that, I mean, that, yeah, I guess there's another good option or good one too. We didn't see battle mode. But yeah, I mean, I think when it came to like the actual like world itself, I think it was pretty off limits. Or no, I guess pretty off limits in terms of not off limiting things. That's a dumb way of putting it. Waffle asks, battle mode only has 2 modes, balloons and coin battles. The other 3 modes of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe were awesome, and there are no tournaments for online mode. I didn't see them on the direct. That's disappointing. We covered all of this. You have it right as far as we know. That sucks. I agree. So,
yep.
Crispy Llamas asks a question that they had when Mario Kart 8 for Wii U came out. Is Mario in it? No one knows.
Imagine playing as Mario in Mario Kart.
Can you imagine such a thing?
You can only play as Mario's brother.
You know what? I will say this. I don't know why this reminded me of it. I do kind of wish they had changed the name for this one though and called it Super Mario Kart World. I think that would have been a fun callback, like Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart World. Wouldn't that have been good?
They should have called Luigi Kart World.
The year Luigi.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going through my questions here. Nick, did you have any others before we start winding down?
No, that's most of them. Like I said, a lot of the questions that we've been getting from other people have been kind of going all over all of them. Oh, I guess I have a quick one. Do you guys think we're going to see anything more than 4-player split screen? Like, is it possible that we'll see 6 or even 8? No. Or are we really just going to stick to 4? Just 4?
4.
Yeah.
And you know, with being able to connect other systems as well, of course. So, although that does remind me. Wait, actually, I was going to ask if we knew if there was a land mode in the game, but I'm pretty sure it was confirmed that they were, in fact, using a land mode at the Switch 2 event.
Oh, really?
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Don't take it to the gospel.
But they literally showcased that in the Switch 2 overview trailer that you connect that switches to one another. So
perfect. There we go. Then So I think so it seems like there will be at least a land mode in the game, which also makes me hopeful for Mario Kart Double Dash having land mode in GameCube.
Oh my god!
I hope
that and Kirby Air Ride.
Yeah,
for GameCube, yeah.
That's a good one, exactly. So, let's see. Looking for any final questions. Oh, Espion asks, the koopalings, they are there, right? Where are the koopalings at? It's so sad that they got omitted so far.
Yeah, I don't think they're coming back. Like, I think the minions are kind of the replacement for the koopalings. Even though I was a fan of some of them, like I think they had their time in Mario Kart 8 and Smash Bros. And Smash for Wii U and 3DS. Like, I think they might be kind of pushing them off to the side, unless they come back for like the Mario movie, like Super Mario World, the movie. So Super Mario Bros. 2.
My secret hope is that they come back as part of like some DLC expansion. Maybe like they could add even like a story mode later on, and you have to like defeat the 7 koopalings around the world to, you know, add them to your roster or something. I think that'd be fun. But again, that's just me being hopeful. So, Jay has a good question here. What happens at the edge of the map? This is interesting because in the direct, or the trailer, one of the two, they specifically mentioned you can go to the end of the world, and we see like them driving off a cliff or something. But we didn't. But still, that's not truly the edge of the world because you can go into the water and go even farther.
Sure.
So
yeah.
what happens then? Like, is there a barricade? Does a giant whale come up and eat you or something? Like a giant eel, I guess. What happens?
I hope it's better than just like a glass wall like that appears and it's just like you're just running into it. I hope it's like a blooper, a giant blooper, like grabs you, puts you underwater, and then you get taken back to the shore or something like that.
I think we will find out on day one.
I think you're right. Saluna Knight is wondering or hoping, I really hope that there is some kind of checklist in Free Roam for everything you need to find/collect. I know there already is for the costumes, but hope there's something for the rest, and it's not just the Korok seeds all over again. So we talked about this earlier a bit, but I don't think they're going to go the Korok seed route. I don't think this game's main reason for existing is exploration, right? And they've even they've even gone back and kind of addressed the Korok seeds to a degree, haven't they? Like didn't they make it a way of tracking them or something? I thought they had.
Maybe with the mobile app for the Switch 2 editions.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
easier.
of. Yeah, isn't that part of it?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked over the UI for the menu for the mobile app, but you figured like that would be one of the complaints that they would fix for the Switch 2 editions of those games.
Yeah, so you can basically navigate yourself to a Korok seed.
I'm sure there'll be some kind of checklist or tracker of some kind. I don't think they want us driving around forever looking for that final freaking P-switch or something, you know. So
the thing I'm fearful of though is like seeing how messy the menus are for characters, that the achievement checklist is gonna be messy. It's not gonna be like splitting up by region. It's just gonna be like 1,000 question marks, and you just have to scroll through them. And it's like, oh, I found the question mark block over in this region, and that was number like 125. I'm like, oh great, like there's no way to sort it. It's not organized in any way.
Actually, that reminds me of something. Do we know? Does this game have achievements at all?
So
there are
those are tied to the stickers.
Yeah, there are accomplishments that are tied to certain of the decals, yes.
Okay. So,
which unlock specifically character-related decals.
God, oh, interesting. So that I think that lends, for me, I would think that lends even further credence to the idea there being some kind of checklist, so that way you could know how to do those achievements, for instance, or whatever, or
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just speculating. But yeah, and then someone else mentioned that they want Mushroom City to be back, and yes, I want Mushroom City from Double Dash to be back too. Where is Mushroom City? Like that could have been Crown, like the new, or that could have been like Crown City. In fact, is there only one city in the game? Is it just Crown City? Is it the only proper city?
I think it's just Crown City. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Unless you count what's it called, the like the Venice style level as like
I guess that's a good one. That is very city-like as well. So I do hope that in Crown City, like at least in Free Roam, that it really truly feels like a city, you know, right? Like that there's interconnecting pathways that you can, you know, look at different shops and things. You know, I just hope it feels like that they capture that city essence. Because even like Mushroom City did a good job of feeling like a city, despite it still being a standard Mario Kart track with all these, you know, different pathways you could take, interconnecting ones that, like, you know, you could run into other racers that way. It was just a lot of fun. So
they should have attached the city to Coconut Mall.
Oh yes!
They could have done that.
Is Coconut Mall back?
No.
Oh yeah, that would've been so great. That would've been amazing. Just slap that into a city, right? That'd been amazing. Oh, some missed potential here, but anyways, it's not hard to imagine of how much cool stuff there could be in the giant open world. So
like there's multiple courses you consider that would fit in actually an open world setting like this. For example, another one that would fit perfectly is Sunshine Airport.
Yes! Oh, that's
a
great one.
That's not here.
Man, now I'm disappointed. Where's Sunshine Airport? Or even like the what was it? The underground train system from Train Level they had.
Super Subway.
Super Subway. That'd be another good one too, right? You can even like take the stairs up to like, you know, go above ground and be in a different regions. So yeah. Anyways, any final thoughts, Dawn or Nick, before we wrap it up here?
Not really. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, we covered a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Are we really going to get an overview trailer in the next week or so, or was that direct?
They should. They probably will.
I think so.
It's normally around this time where they would. It seems a little late. Normally they do it like 3 weeks beforehand, so they are kind of late.
Yeah, maybe different release schedule for Switch 2. And with it being a launch,
Yeah.
you know, it changes things a bit. But yeah, I think there'll be one, and I hope that there is one, but I want to see even more of this game.
Yeah. How long do you think the trailer would be? Like 5 to 10 minutes long?
5
Like, it's got to be
minutes,
shorter
yeah.
than the direct, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah, I
5
think Dawn-
minutes.
I think Dawn has it, yeah. 5 to 7 minutes, I would guess. But yeah, there we go, everyone. So what's your hype level at now for Mario Kart World after all this discussion of things we don't know about the game? How are we feeling?
I'm still very excited. I
Yeah.
don't want to necessarily put a number on it, but I'm still really excited about the
too.
game. Despite, like, you know, the direct felt sort of like a bump in the road where it last us for more questions because we've been talking about 2 discussions all over it. Like, to me, like, they should have addressed some stuff just quite a bit better.
At the least, the online, absolutely. I fully agree. Like, online's I feel like that's kind of the main thing these days for Mario Kart, and I don't
Especially because of the game chat, you know?
Right? Yeah. Right. Exactly. You're right. But yeah, it's so interesting that they barely touch on it, except within the context of game chat, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Nick?
Yeah, so I'm still super excited. I think the last week is going to hit me hard. Like the days leading up to the Switch 2, when there's only like a day or two left. Like, I'm going to have a hard time sleeping because I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to play this new game. I can't wait to play it on this new device. So yeah, I think the closer we get, the more excited I'm going to be. What about you, Andre?
Yeah, pretty much same here, I think. I can't wait. I'm really excited for this game. Playing it, you know, kind of really cemented how much fun this game is going to be, it seems. And I can't wait to go online and play more Knockout Tour in particular. But also discover what the heck Rainbow Road is. So yeah, I'm excited. And we'll see. And I wonder if they'll actually tease that anymore in the overview trailer. If they may offer a glimpse at the, you know, actually, in general, like at Rainbow Road. But I also wonder if they'll answer even more of our questions. Like, are we going to find out about, you know, how the online works properly now? I would assume so.
A couple, yeah, for sure.
It'll be crazy to see if the overview trailer is better than the actual direct. Like,
That'd be
they'll show
hilarious.
more information within that
might.
short amount of time versus
They might.
the direct.
I mean, they showed almost nothing new in that direct. There's actually a
Yeah.
very real possibility. So,
Yeah.
in any case, I hope that video doesn't come out until after we post this one, because that would totally screw it up if that gets posted before this does. So, yeah, who knows? All right, well, that's gonna wrap it for us here, everyone. If you want to follow Nick or Don, where can you do that? Don, in your case.
You can find me at Nintendan, NENTNDAAN.
Perfect. And how about you, Nick?
Yeah, you can check out my stuff on my personal channel. That's Steftendo, STEFTNDO.
Awesome, and you can find links to both of that in the description below. With that, thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned for more from us on Switch 2, Mario Kart World, and everything else as soon as we can. I can't wait. With that, we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.